What's up? What's up? What's up, you guys? We are back with another video. My name is Crystal Denitra, and thank you for watching Truth TV Podcast. Yesterday, we talked a little bit about depression. I had a video called Depression 101, and I thought it was important to do a part two to that video only because depression has so many different forms, it's so many different types. And then I kind of wanted to go into more of my story on depression. So yesterday, we learned that depression is a group of conditions associated with the elevation or lowering of a person's mood, such as depression or bipolar disorder, persistent feelings of sadness and loss of interest. Like I told you guys yesterday, depression has no face. It can come in any sex, any familial status. It can come in boys and girls. It shows up wherever it wants to show up. So it doesn't have any bounds pretty much. Some of the signs and symptoms of depression is not wanting to get out of bed, sleeping too much, not getting enough sleep, overeating, not eating enough, not drinking enough. People can start to use controlled substances or drugs, drinking, poor concentration, feeling of worthlessness. You can have thoughts of unaliving yourself, crankiness or irritability, restlessness. Like I said, self-harm, using objects like knives and other things to self-harm yourself. There are different types of depression, and that's kind of what I wanted to go into today, because the only way that you're going to know that you're depressed is, number one, if you go to a licensed professional. Like I told you guys, I am not a licensed clinician. I used to be a registered behavior tech, but I no longer operate under that license. I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist. I'm just putting together things that I've learned throughout working in different hospitals and working with different families that suffer from these types of things. So the different types of depression, number one is major depressive disorder, MDD. The key thing about that is they feel fatigue and loss of energy. They have everything else that I included, but as far as the symptoms, but the fatigue and loss of energy is a big one for major depressive disorder, which is also known as MDD. There's persistent depressive disorder, or PDD, which you have to have 2 years or more with all of the things that I said before. So not eating, not drinking, you're just in a constant low. The third one is minor depression. You will have 2 or 4 symptoms of the major depression. So not eating, not drinking, sleeping too much, sleeping too little, etc. Substance/medication induced depression disorder. Those are when you take too much of a medication, it can kind of put you in a self-induced depressive mode. Or if you're drinking alcohol, that puts you in a self-induced depressive mode. Number 5 is premenstrual dysphoric disorder, which is also known as PMDD. It affects women ahead of their periods in a more intense way. So sometimes before we lose our period, before we go into that premenstrual era, sometimes women can get depressed. So that's what the PMMD is. Number 6 is bipolar disorder, which is also known as manic depression. These are intense mood swings from normal to acute. You have states of depression or mania, which is intense excitement. That's what mania is. Postpartum depression, it begins the year after childbirth. I know I experienced this when my first child came. I didn't understand why I was feeling so sad. Having a baby is supposed to be a good thing, but sometimes when you have that postpartum depression, it kind of takes you out of the sense of mothering a child. And I know it sounds silly, but that's just what some women go through. Number 8 is the psychotic depression. Pretty much you experience everything else that I just said, but you have hallucinations or delusions. And that's the key with that. So with depression, like I said, you definitely want to go to a doctor if you're having symptoms of just being in a funk. That's pretty much what depression is. You're in this funk. You don't know how you got there. You don't know how you're going to get yourself out. But in order to cope with these things, you have to be active. Like I said yesterday, getting your mind out of the routine of being sadness is the key. You have to take yourself out of the depressive state. Whatever environment that you're in, whoever you're dealing with that's making you depressed, you have to leave them alone, because you're going to find yourself in this cycle of a low that you can't get yourself out of. I know for me, and this is Truth TV, so we're going to be very honest. I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder 16 years ago when my son was a baby. It started off with the postpartum depression, but I just knew as years went on, I was still depressed. Now, mind you, at that time, I'm still being abused by a narcissistic caretaker, and then also a narcissistic husband at the time. So I didn't know how to deal with what I was going through on top of having a new baby. Sometimes things can just overwhelm you and you can't get yourself out of a funk. So I did go see someone. Like I said, I was diagnosed 16 years ago. I used to take medication for the bipolar disorder, but then I found other ways to cope. One of my coping mechanisms, because depression can give you anxiety as well. I started smoking heavily, and you know what I'm saying, just smoking. But up until recently, I stopped because I wanted to try a different route. You know what I'm saying? I knew that I had goals, and sometimes you can't get through your goals, being high all day. And that's just what I came to realize. So that was just a personal choice for me. I'm not bashing anyone that, decides to smoke, because I know it does help. It does calm you down. It does help with anxiety. But with depression, it's just so many people that I meet on a daily basis. And like I said, half the people in my phone, like I was telling you guys, I would say 75% of them are depressed for different reasons, financial reasons, not knowing where you're going to get your money to feed your kids, not knowing how you're going to pay the light bill or your house bill or your car note. All of those things can cause depression. But the key is to understand and know that there is help available. Like I said yesterday, you are not in this alone. Millions of people go through depression, and everybody goes through a different things can trigger you. It can be a life event, like I talked about in a video yesterday. It can be the death of a loved one. You know what I'm saying? It can just be you just feeling like you haven't accomplished what you should have accomplished by your age. And sometimes I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. We get in this mind that we want to compare ourselves to other people, which is definitely a no-no, because everybody has to run their own race. Everybody has to be in this thing called life one at a time. And we can't put so much pressure on ourselves and stress ourselves out to the point where, we're feeling down in the dumps. And sometimes when you're at that low, you cannot get yourself out of it. For me, I have been in court the past 6 years with my ex-husband, like just going through custody battle, friend of the court, him not wanting to pay child support. And just last month, I got another letter from friend of the court. Basically, he's snooping around trying to figure out where I'm working and what I'm doing so he can pay less child support. Even though he initially went and told the judge that he only wanted our kids on the weekend and he would just pay, I guess that changed for him. And now he's fighting tooth and nail not to pay child support. And I have the children Monday through Friday. So it is very stressful. And just, being in court, not having that family support. I didn't even have an attorney. I kind of just fought him, pretty much by myself. I used the knowledge that, I gained from different attorneys that, were free and just let me know what I needed to do and what paperwork I needed to fill out. But all of that stuff caused depression. Not only did I have to divorce this person, but I'm yet still going through the aftermath of the divorce because he's a narcissist. He wants things his way. He doesn't want, he doesn't want to pay the money. And unfortunately, like the courts told him, I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. If she has the children more, it is what it is. And it would be the same thing if the shoe were on the other foot. If he had the children more, then I would be paying child support. That's just the way that it goes. So for me, just constantly trying to fight someone, even after you're no longer with them, could be a struggle. Like I said, I have days where I don't want to get out of the bed. There's days that I don't even want to brush my teeth. I had missed so many dentist appointments over the years, even though I was sending my children to the dentist. I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? I lost a couple chompers. You know, that was one of the major reasons why I never wanted to get on camera. But I just had to get out of that. I started making my dentist appointments. I started taking care of my teeth, started doing the things that I was supposed to do. But because I was in such a funk, I didn't realize how much I was damaging myself. So like I told you guys yesterday, help is available. There is a number, I believe it's 988, and I'll drop it down in the comments in the description box below like I did yesterday. You can call that number 24/7, 365. They are licensed professionals who are there waiting to take your call, because I don't ever want to hear anyone that's close to me becoming a statistic or thinking about becoming a statistic. Like I said, there's so many avenues to depression. No one knows what really triggers it or brings it on, but we just have to take life one day at a time. We cannot put a lot of pressure on ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We can't beat ourselves up, you know, because we're doing the best that we can do. And it's unfortunate in my case that I don't really have that family support. Is everything that I went through, I had to go through it alone. No friends, no family. It was just me and God. So I'm here to tell you that God has kept me up. You know, I purchased a home 3 years ago. Some days I ask God, I don't even see how you still got me here paying bills, but my lights is not cut off, my water not cut off. So I'm just thankful for God keeping me and taking me out of the depression slowly but surely. But if he's able to do it for me, I'm telling you guys, he's able to do it for you. So definitely stay encouraged, be encouraged. Like I said, you guys can always reach out to me. You can email me at truth.tv podcast. You can follow us on Instagram for more information. You know, I wish you guys well. Healing is a journey, you know, and everybody heals, everybody grieves differently. So just know that what one person's process is may not be your process. And just because, you know, things look good on the internet, I know these celebrities, they do a good job of playing like everything is okay, you know, that they have all the money, they have all the resources, but really a lot of those people are depressed. Look at the people who are unaliving themselves. You know, people think just because you have money, you don't have internal problems, and that's not true. You know, money is not going to solve everything. You know, money makes things nice, but it doesn't solve everything. And some people have that in their mind that, you know, if you have money, that will just solve all your problems. Well, you have to be smart with the money. You know what I'm saying? God gonna bless you with all of this money, but you're, you know, doing silly things with it, you know, and then that causes you to be depressed. And I see that a lot in these celebrities, you know, and it's sad that we always big them up, but we always want to lower ourselves. So don't compare yourself to anybody. Your race is what it's going to be, you know, and just take it one day at a time and one step at a time, and just know you can come out of it. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, you can email me, comment on the videos, like the videos. We need YouTube's algorithm to get popping with these videos, because so many people need this information. Like I said, I was basically called to do this. I've been trying not to do this for about a year now, and God just kept pressing me. The people need to hear what you have to say. You know, I want my personality to come out more. You know what I'm saying? Because I am a very funny person. The people that really know me and that are close to me, I'm a jokester. I love to crack jokes. But I think right now it's appropriate just to be kind of serious, because I want to make sure my message gets across to who needs it. You know, and it will be times where we can joke and laugh and things like that, especially when we have people come on, if you guys are willing to come on with me. But just know that you're not in this alone. Like I said, it took me a long time to even, you know, just get this thing popping. And that was because I was in such a deep depression. And recently I went and had some professional photos done, and I was trying not to get those photos done. When I tell you it was such a struggle, it was a struggle. I didn't want to get the photos done. I kept trying to put it off, but the project that I'm working on requires it. And in order for the project to come out the right way, I had to get those photos done. So I'm pushing myself daily. You know what I'm saying? This is a work in progress. It's not going to just happen overnight, but you have to keep at it. You have to keep active. Go to the gym, talk to a therapist. Like I said yesterday in the video, it's nothing wrong with therapy. You know, the Black community has this stigma where you can't go to therapy, and it's just not true. You know, it's nothing wrong with getting help. It's the same thing as if you were to break your arm today, you would go to the urgent care or the hospital and tell them you broke your arm. Having mental issues or, you know, having depression is the same thing. You know, you're just, you got to get a cast over your head. It's the same thing. So again, I thank you guys for watching. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. Thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you all for the support. I appreciate all the new subscribers, and check out some of those short videos I've been posting. I try to just post every now and again the short videos just to kind of, you know, boost people up throughout the day. So check some of those videos out as well. And until next time, you guys be blessed and be safe. Thank you for tuning in to Truth TV Podcast. Peace.